You've completed your 4th week of studies in New Testament Exposition 1. This lesson, entitled The Gospel According to Luke, focused exclusively on this, the longest book in the New Testament. It was discovered that, concerning Luke and authorship, most scholars agree that the author was male, that he had access to sources concerning the life of Jesus, that he was not an eyewitness of Jesus, and that he had an opportunity to investigate the life and story of Jesus fully. However, beyond this, there is little agreement. The presence of medical terminology is often taken to indicate that the author may have been a medical doctor, though this should be tempered with the realization that this type of language would have been accessible to any well-educated person in antiquity. Luke Acts was dedicated to Theophilus, who was likely Luke's literary patron, whose spiritual status is difficult to determine. We do know that he was a person of high rank, that he received previous instruction concerning the Christian faith, and that this gospel was offered as further instruction for him. See that in Luke 1, 3, and 4. These form the basis of what we can actually know about Theophilus. A number of important literary facts were also uncovered. The 3 main literary units of Luke are the introduction to Jesus and his mission in 1:5 through 4:13, Jesus' Galilean ministry in 4:14 to 9:50, and Jesus' journey to Jerusalem and his passion in 9:18 to 24:53. Also, Luke placed Jesus' genealogy not at the beginning of his gospel like Matthew, but just prior to the beginning of Jesus' ministry in Luke 3:23 to 38. Luke traces Jesus' lineage back to Adam, the Son of God, so he sought to be inclusive by beginning with the progenitor of humanity. Luke differs from the other synoptics in his use of example story parables, which occur only in his gospel. The Good Samaritan, the rich young fool, the rich man and Lazarus, and the Pharisee and the tax collector, these are all examples of the example story, which indicate types of behavior either to be emulated or avoided. Also, women feature prominently in many of the parables in Luke, often in parallel with male characters. We found that Luke claimed to have had access to eyewitness traditions, just as the original eyewitnesses and servants of the word handed them down to us in Luke 1:2. This is corroborated by Jesus' statement in Luke 24:48, "We are witnesses of these things." The travel narrative, though, broke new ground with regard to its presentation of Jesus. We found that in this section, Jesus' teaching concerning the folly and idolatry associated with serving money comes to the fore, especially in the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. This reinforces Luke's constant concern about the use and abuse of wealth with regard to discipleship. The role of consumption and wealth brings to the fore Jesus' idea that affluence and position are not indicative of one's status before God. With regard to the phases of Jesus' trial, in Luke we saw a trial before Pilate in 23:1 through 6. Here Jesus was falsely accused, affirms his messianic status, and is sent to Herod. The second phase in Luke is this trial before Herod in 23:7 through 11. Here more false charges are leveled against Jesus. Herod finds no guilt in Jesus and sends him back to Pilate. The third phase in Luke is in the continued trial before Pilate in 23:12 through 25. Again, here no formal charges are brought against Jesus, no witnesses are produced, but Jesus is sentenced to crucifixion without conviction from Pilate. We found that Luke makes several unique contributions to the canon. First, Jesus is the son of Adam and the son of God in 3:37. Second, Jesus is the Spirit-anointed suffering servant in 4:18-19. Third, Jesus is the compassionate healer and physician in 5:31-32. Fourth, Jesus is the Messiah sent to the poor, the Gentiles, women, sick, children, and others of low status in society. And fifth, we found Jesus as the friend of tax collectors and sinners in 7:34 and the seeker of the lost in 19:10.